What future-focused family conversation seemed premature until it helped you discover your calling? Every Sunday night throughout my childhood, my family practiced what my father called the long view dinner. While most of my friends' parents asked about homework or weekend activities, my parents posed a single consistent question to each of us. How are you preparing for a world we can't yet imagine? At 8 years old, I found this question impossibly abstract. My siblings and I would squirm, offering vague answers about studying hard or learning to use computers. My parents would probe deeper, asking follow-up questions that forced us to think beyond the next school year or even the next decade. What problems might exist when you're 30 that don't exist today? Which of your current skills might become obsolete? What are you curious about that others aren't paying attention to? For years, these dinners felt like philosophical exercises with little practical value. My friends' families discussed vacation plans or sports teams, while we debated climate migration patterns and the future of work. I often felt we were overthinking everything while others were simply living their lives. The conversations grew more substantial as we entered our teens. When my father, an automotive engineer, lost his job to automation, our Sunday discussions took on new urgency. His industry was transforming faster than he could adapt, and he was determined that we wouldn't face the same fate. By 16, I developed a habit of scanning for emerging patterns across seemingly unrelated fields. While my classmates focused exclusively on traditional career paths, I found myself drawn to intersections, where healthcare met data science, where climate change met urban planning, where aging populations met technology needs. During my junior year of high school, I became fascinated by how elderly patients struggled with medication adherence. My grandmother had been hospitalized after confusing her prescriptions, and I wondered how many others faced similar challenges. For that week's long view dinner, instead of answering the usual question, I presented a crude sketch of a medication management system that combined simplified technology with behavioral psychology insights. My parents exchanged glances I couldn't interpret. Then my father said something unexpected. "This isn't just theoretical anymore, is it? You found your intersection." In college, while classmates were still discovering their interests, I pursued a self-designed major combining healthcare systems, behavioral psychology, and user interface design. My professors were initially skeptical but eventually supportive of this unconventional approach. 10 years later, I lead a healthcare innovation lab developing next-generation medication management systems for vulnerable populations. The prototype that began as a Sunday dinner conversation has evolved into technology now used by thousands of seniors. What I once viewed as my parents' unnecessarily philosophical approach to parenting turned out to be deliberate preparation for a rapidly changing world. While traditional education taught me what to think, those Sunday dinners taught me how to think, to identify emerging needs, to connect disparate fields, and to orient myself toward problems that matter. Many of my colleagues stumbled into their careers through chance or convenience. I found mine through years of guided contemplation about human needs in an uncertain future. The question that once seemed impossibly abstract, how are you preparing for a world we can't yet imagine, turned out to be the most practical one my parents could have asked. In a world where careers increasingly span multiple disciplines, learning to identify meaningful intersections early gave me a head start on finding work that matters. Those Sunday dinners weren't just conversations, they were navigation tools for an unpredictable future.